Hello, I'm Dave, and welcome back to a Giant Slayers Leadership Focus blog. This blog is designed to give you some tips each week. A couple times a week I'm going to come on and share some things. This week I'm going to share some things out of John Maxwell's study, Learning to Become a Person of Influence. And today's lesson is, an influencer has faith in people. Now, we've had an introductory video that talked about what influence is, why we need to be a positive influencer. Lesson 2 was chapter 1, that an influencer has integrity with people. I posted 10 self-assessment questions on my website that you can go back and answer those for yourself. I highly suggest you go back and answer those for yourself. Get you an accountability partner after you've went through them yourself and ask them and get their viewpoint. Someone you trust, someone who's got your back that'll tell you the truth, so you can actually see where you're at on your integrity level, because an influencer, a positive influencer, has integrity with people. Second lesson was, an influencer nurtures other people. Nurturing is not coddling. It is helping someone move past a tough situation, helping them to grow, providing tools and resources, and being there for them. Now, today's lesson, like I said, is an influencer has faith in people. And I want to share 4 facts about faith, and I also want to give you 7 tips to help you become a person who has faith in people, a believer in people. And the first fact is this, that most people don't have faith in themselves. Now, you may disagree. You may be a person who has a lot of faith in yourself, but I promise you, it didn't get there by itself. Someone helped instill that faith in you. It takes me to the second fact, that most people don't have someone who has faith in them. Think about it. 7 billion people on the planet today, and most of them are wandering around with low self-esteem, no vision for their future, and not sure how they're ever going to achieve success for their life. The third fact is that most people can tell when we have faith in them. They can also tell when we don't. They can pick up on insincere flattery and compliments. So they can pick up on that pretty quick. I know you can too, and I can tell when people really are being sincere. The fourth fact is, most people will do just about anything to live up to the faith that people have in them. Now think about it. When someone showed some faith in you, I guarantee you your game stepped up a little bit, so that you can prove to them that that faith they invested in you was well earned. So people will step their game up when they know for a fact that we have faith in them. Now, here's an acronym called BELIEVE, and 7 tips to help us to become people who have faith in other people. And the first one is B. Believe in people before they succeed. It's very easy to believe in someone after they've succeeded. Doesn't take much effort there. But it does take some risk and some effort to believe in people before they succeed. The second tip is E. Emphasize their strengths. It doesn't take much effort to find people's flaws and weaknesses, because we've all got them and they're all evident. But sometimes it does take work to find people's strengths. The third tip is L. List their past successes. When people get stuck and they can't seem to get past a certain situation because maybe fear's taken over, or basically a lack of faith, help them remember their past success so that they can regain that confidence and that courage to press forward. The fourth tip is I. Instill confidence in them when they fail. Now, we've got a bad habit as a human being to try to avoid failure. But I think once we've got a healthy perspective about what failure is not a destination. It's not a label that we can put on ourselves unless we decide to, or see ourselves as a failure. We have to look at our failures as opportunities to learn something and make adjustments and move forward. And we have to help people understand that, so that they are not going to try to avoid failure. Because if they try to avoid failure, they're going to get stuck. The fifth tip is experience some wins together. Got to roll up our sleeves, call them alongside of us, win together, share the credit for that win, and build that confidence in them. A lot of things happen during that time. Rapport is built, connections built, relationships established, trust is built, and we win together. The next tip, 6th tip, is visualize their future success. Like I said, most people don't have a vision for their future. They can't see it clearly. But when we have faith in people and we come alongside them and start to learn about their passions, when I talk about passions, I'm talking about what makes them cry, what makes them happy, what makes them sing, their gifts and their talents, their dreams. Then we can help them cast a vision for their own life that will propel them forward. Joe Saxton said this: "You cannot be what you cannot see." We all need a clear vision of who we want to become, what we want to accomplish, and how we're going to get there. Next, and finally, is E, expect a new level of living. Once you've invested in a person and you've shown faith in them and they begin to grow, their lives are going to change. And not only their lives, but those they influence, their lives will change as well. Let me tell you just a brief story. I had a store manager. His name was Mike Martin, good friend of mine. But before he was a friend of mine, he was my boss. He was my manager. And he asked me one day, he said, "Dave, why are you working 3 or 4 jobs?" And I said, "Man, I need the money. And the job I'm doing is not paying what I need or what I want. And so I need extra money." He said, "Why don't you just step up, go into management program, and focus on one job, earn more money, and focus on one job?" He said, I believe you can do it. I know you can do it. He said, "I believe you can do this job as well as I can, and maybe even better." So man, he hammered on me for about a year, just kept building me up, pumping me up, telling me what I did great, pointing out my strengths, teaching me little things, get me interested in the business. And before you know it, I stepped up, but that wasn't the end of the story. Every time I succeeded, every time he heard I did something great, he would call me, congratulate me. He kept track of me. He cared about my success. He was a positive influencer in my life. He had faith in me. So I want to do that. I want to be that kind of influencer. What about you? I believe you do. I believe there's some people in your lives that you can influence straight out of the gate. I believe you can take these lessons, begin to apply them, get a strategy in place, and influence someone's life for the better. Maybe it's your child. Maybe it's a student. Maybe it's someone on your team. Whoever it is, be intentional. Be a person of influence. That's all the time we've got, but I want to thank you for tuning in. I encourage you to go to my website, GiantSlayerConsultants.com, sign up for my free newsletter, subscribe to my YouTube channel, get these videos for free. I would love to have you subscribe so I can keep in touch with you. Send me your thoughts, your questions, your insight. I would love to share it. Some other things with you if that's what you need. Got all kinds of tools and resources, and it's my job, my passion, and my pleasure to add value to you. So until next time, be a person of influence. Thank you.